Hi everybody, Nurse Scott here. How are you? It's been quite a day. Um, Today the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and um, it's changed. It's going to change a lot of things. Hey, first let me say this is supposed to be a vlog where I kind of like update you on what's going on. So let me just say I just finished my first course in grad school. I got an A. I got a high A. Yay me. The next class starts on Monday. It's Pride this weekend in many cities, including here in San Francisco, when we celebrate gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, all kinds of people and celebrate their freedom to express themselves however they want, to love whoever they want, to just find happiness in life without anybody giving them a hassle. Of course, today for women, finding happiness got a little more complicated. Um, so I have thoughts, as you might expect. Some of them are serious, some are snarky. I can't help it. They're all heartfelt. I believe all of it. I think it's important information. I think it's going to give you something to think about. Things maybe you haven't, aspects of this whole issue maybe you haven't thought about. So I've made some notes to myself. First of all, congratulations to those of you who got what you wanted today with Roe v. Wade no longer being the law of the land and women not having the right to make some private decisions about what's in their uteruses. Uteri? I'm a liberal, but I'm a moderate liberal. I think the government should help people. I think there should be social programs in place. I think that's a good way to spend the nation's money. But I'm not like radical about it. There's some of the things put forth by the progressive left that I don't agree with. But of course, I'm for abortion rights. So all that to say, I do understand where the other side is coming from. I get that some people think that there's a person in there, but it's not settled. There are many different opinions about when life begins. And I don't especially want people to get abortions. But that's not for me to say. It's none of my business. And actually, I don't even have a uterus, and I'm outraged at this. And I'm gay, so I don't really worry about getting a woman pregnant. So I really don't have skin in this game, but I do as a healthcare provider, and I'll explain why in a minute. So I understand a little bit about where the pro-life angle is coming from. I get that. I get that when a woman gets pregnant and it's just too darn inconvenient to have a baby right now, they don't think she should have a get out of jail free card in the form of an abortion. She got pregnant, she needs to have the baby. But banning abortion, as many states have done and soon will do, doesn't only stop that. It has ramifications that I don't think a lot of the pro-lifers have really considered. For one, some fetuses are critically ill. Some are developing without brains. I'm not going to put a picture up here, but you may have seen them. The skull just caves in here, like there's no brain. There's no chance that baby's going to survive very long after birth. And, I heard a woman telling a story about a situation much like this. It must have been in Texas or somewhere. She was not able to get the abortion. She knew the baby had basically terminal illness, was going to die soon after birth, and still had to carry the baby. Not only knowing that the baby's going to die as it grows inside of her, but she had to deal with people every day asking her, so how far along are you? Are you excited? Have you named the baby yet? Do you know if it's a boy or girl? And I just don't think it's right to put her through that. She's already lost a child, but now she has to put up this front, and I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. In some domestic violence situations, the husband or the boyfriend will threaten to kill the woman if she gets pregnant. It's terrible, it's wrong, but it's a real threat, and an abortion could save her life. Women who are raped are forever scarred mentally by that violation, and some become pregnant as a result of the rape. Abortion means not adding to that by carrying and giving birth to the rapist's baby. Young girls whose brothers or fathers or uncles impregnate them are traumatized for life because of that sexual abuse. An abortion means they're spared the risk, first of all, to their barely developed bodies to go through pregnancy and childbirth, and also spared the stigma and disgust of carrying and giving birth to their abuser's baby. Women who are in or near poverty may not be able to really feed themselves or their children. Abortion could mean that what they have will be enough to feed their kids. And depending on how these anti-abortion laws are interpreted, in vitro fertilization might be a thing of the past. Currently, 20% of babies born in America exist because of some type of fertilization treatment. And you know how you maybe not know how this is done. They take sperm and egg from the potential parents, and in a little petri dish or something similar, they fertilize the eggs. They go through the eggs, examine them, and see which ones are healthy and strong and have the best chance to develop into a healthy pregnancy. And they take 2 or 3 and implant them into the woman's uterus. The other ones, oftentimes, they will save. They'll freeze and save in case that first round of in vitro doesn't take. And often it doesn't. So now what's going on? Are those frozen embryos frozen children? What do we do with them? Do you know? I don't. But I do know that if that kind of law was in place 17 years ago, I wouldn't have one of my nieces and one of my nephews, and my sister would be childless and heartbroken. As a nurse, I have a particular interest in the medical ramifications of this. Here's a fun fact. It's dangerous to be pregnant. Whatever a woman might be at risk for when she's not pregnant, if she's at risk for blood clots or diabetes or heart disease, or she's at risk of poverty or domestic violence or depression or suicide, she is more at risk for those things when she becomes pregnant. In case you forgot, women still die in childbirth, especially black women. Abortion is a safe procedure, far safer than childbirth. This is one aspect that I don't think people celebrating today have really thought through. Overturning Roe v. Wade has far-reaching ramifications for healthcare providers. It'll make some of those decisions they have to make about caring for their patients potential legal liabilities. So, do you remove a deformed fetus from the woman, or do you wait until it dies and force her to go into labor and deliver a dead baby? If a woman has an ectopic pregnancy, here's a fun fact, there is no chance that fetus is going to make its way out of the fallopian tube and somehow find the uterus and develop normally. If left alone, it's going to keep growing, it's going to burst the fallopian tube, and the woman is going to bleed to death. So when can a medical provider intervene? Do we have to tell these women, well, by law, we can't do anything right now, but just to let you know kind of what to expect, be prepared for a lot of abdominal pain in the next few hours or a few days. Oh, by the way, you'll eventually start bleeding internally. And then when you've lost enough blood that your blood pressure drops, then we can go in and do surgery and remove the fetus. By then it might be too late, but you follow the law. Whether a medical procedure is safe, appropriate, ethical, is for each patient to decide with the advice of their trusted healthcare professional, physician, nurse practitioner, nurse midwife. Now many states have inserted themselves into that discussion. So, congratulations, pro-lifers. You got what you've been waiting for all these years. Good for you. Now, you'll have to watch as women die from back alley abortions, because women are not stupid. This isn't going to decrease the number of abortions. It's going to decrease the number of safe abortions. And you'll see women die from delayed medical care, like I just described. Of course, some states are committed to making abortion available for women across the country. And I think it's not a stretch to think there may be television ads coming out in those other states, kind of informing women that, you can come to, if you need an abortion, you can come to California. I think some states might even be setting up ways to fund these women's flights, or at least nonprofit organizations have done that. Are you ready for those kind of TV commercials? Are you ready to see that? Are you ready for your kids to see that? I think that may be coming with this decision. And we'll all have to watch as misguided politicians try to criminalize birth control, same-sex marriage, interracial marriage, in an effort to turn our free country into a Christian theocracy. And this isn't just some slippery slope paranoia. Justice Thomas has already said that he thinks that some of these issues, quote, need to be re-examined. I think the founding fathers are turning in their graves because this is not what they had in mind. This is kind of the opposite. They envisioned a country where no one would have religious beliefs forced upon them, and here we are. I get the feeling that a lot of people who have been voting Republican have done so because of their stance on abortion and kind of ignoring other issues, kind of one-issue voters. Well, you've got what you wanted from them, so that's done. So maybe it's time to listen to the other side and consider their viewpoints. You know, the other side that wants to help people in need and raise the minimum wage, protect people who are discriminated against, and reform the immigration system to be more humane. Really, for decades, the Republicans have been using abortion as their cause celeb. Now what do they have to offer? And consider black and brown and poor women will be the ones less likely to be able to travel to another state to get abortion services. And, you know, white women and women with some money are always going to have the option of an abortion because they'll have the means to travel to, you know, a place where they can get that service. It's going to be the black and brown women that will be having babies that they don't want to have. So, you know what that means. We're about to have a brown and black baby boom. So you white supremacists must be just thrilled. I don't think they thought about that. And you know, I'm wondering how all the black and brown babies from the baby boom are going to vote in 18 years. Something to think about. And I think a lot of lawmakers really need to throw some money at mental health care, because there are going to be 2.9 million women and girls every year that must go through the trauma of carrying and delivering their rapist babies, some of which are a result of incest. The Supreme Court, through today's decision, has condemned these women and girls to dysfunctional lives because of that trauma. And also, you know, nothing brings people together like a common enemy or a righteous cause, you know, like getting your freedoms taken away. I really think liberals and moderates are going to come together and be motivated and energized like never before. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And finally, I hope you heterosexual men are ready for all this. Oh yes, those babies who are being saved from abortion and are now being born have fathers. And don't think those mothers aren't going to come after you for child support. And if birth control is next, you're going to have a lot of little mouths to feed, because I hear you really like having sex with women. You better hope the Democrats can increase the minimum wage, subsidize child care so your wife or girlfriend can go to work too, or if she already works, to approve mandatory parental leave, take care of the baby. Lots to think about. Lots of things to think about. A lot of ramifications to this decision beyond just preventing women who don't want to have a baby from having that get out of jail free card. Lots of ramifications, and it's going to take me some time to process this. I'm still processing this, and I'm sure you are too, whichever side of the fence you come down on. Leave your comments below if you must. Remember to be respectful. If you appreciate this video, give it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. You click subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified when new videos are available. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.